The Zorro Ranch investigation has officially been opened at Epstein's Zorro Ranch, and they are genuinely looking for bodies who were buried at this ranch via Epstein. Can somebody want to tell me why they're looking for these bodies right now, and why they couldn't have started this investigation years ago? Why now does there seem to be an investigation opened on this? I don't understand, but police are swarming around his ranch searching for multiple bodies that were actually secretly buried. And I think that this story is absolutely insane. It is sickening. They are searching for two girls who were apparently strangled, and human experimentation claims were then buried after things went wrong. And now police have swarmed this Zorro Ranch of Epstein's because they're looking for these two girls. Too little or too late. You're going to really sit here and tell me that Epstein was the only one who knew that these girls were buried? Absolutely not. Of course, people in the police force knew that these girls were buried, but now they want to open an investigation when it's safe to do so, when it's more PR viable, when the man has basically gone missing, dead, whatever you want to say. Now we can open investigations, but I guarantee you police forces knew what he was doing, burying girls left and right, and nobody gave a damn. And
I can expound upon that. New Mexico, the 47th state, is actually taking it upon themselves to come together along with their community to search this ranch themselves, separate of a lot of other forces in Congress. They are actually boots on the ground. They have some very good people in their state political positions who are actually boots on the ground wanting to get to the bottom of what's going on at the Zorro Ranch. So shout out New Mexico. It was a long time coming, but they are there now. So, we'll give them a little bit of grace for that, because we look at all the other things going on with Epstein. It's nothing but hidden behind veils. People are afraid to do these things because we actually showed in a breakdown yesterday, a deep dive, that everybody who gets too close to actually searching these things end up dead. So let's keep going.
Not even just girls, apparently it's also boys as well. I don't know what was going on in this ranch in New Mexico, but sickening stuff. Too little, too late when it comes to opening this investigation. Hey guys, it's Murad Morali. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Daily and consistent content. Let's get straight into this video, where a sad story of at least two girls, the keyword is least, were killed during rough actions via Epstein's remote New Mexico ranch. And it's crazy. Following a massive police swoop on the 7.5 acre property, for years talks of the death has swirled around Zorro Ranch in the tiny town of Stanley, 30 miles south of state capital Santa Fe, but the identities of the girls are simply unknown. Now, law enforcement is confident it can find the bodies if they exist and put names to these girls. Agents from the State Department of Justice, along with police and the local sheriff's office, started the search on Monday and continued on to Tuesday this week. They got all the forces there now. The investigation is running in parallel to a truth commission that was unanimously set up by local lawmakers last month to find out what went on. We have heard years of allegations and rumors about Epstein's activities in New Mexico, but unfortunately, federal investigations have failed to put anything on official record. I think this is all PR BS. With this Truth Commission, we can finally fill in the gaps by investigating the failures that led to the horrific allegations. It's always about investigating the failures. Like, Epstein's sprawling Zorro Ranch, where he was seen in a photo released by the Department of Justice, has long been the subject of intrigue due to allegations that it was a site of human experimentations where they were testing and doing horrific things to humans, and when things went wrong, they would simply just bury them.
Wait, what?
Epstein bought the property from former New Mexico Governor Bruce King following his 2019 death in a New York prison cell. The property went on sale for $23.1 million. It was reduced to $18 million. Epstein's sprawling New Mexico ranch has long been reported to have served as one of his private playgrounds for horrific actions. But the disturbing new allegations suggest something even more sinister has unfolded behind the gates. There actually are now witnesses, Daily Mail can reveal, both men and women, who are now claiming the disgraced financier also used the compound to conduct non-consensual medical procedures to advance his alleged interest in selective forms of breeding.
And who is buying Epstein's ranch? Who bought Epstein's ranch? Who wants to buy it? Who wants to sit in that living room?
What? Oh my God. Sorry, there's a storm going on in London, guys. You're going to hear some wind behind me as we record this. Armed security guards have watched the protest from inside the Zorro Ranch property. Romero is one of several lawmakers who has called for a state truth commission to investigate potential and medical abuses on the ranch. They're not going to find these girls, guys. They're not going to find this property has not even been sold from 2019, and that's for a reason. The property went down from 24 million to 18 million, and it's still not being sold. They're not going to find these girls. They've been buried so deep in. I believe somebody like Epstein would have wanted to have done something like this so that these people could have never have been found. Medical specific abuse. Do you know how insane that is? The level, probably tying these people down and wanting selective breeding understandings. And if the experiment goes wrong, this sounds like some kind of evil game where you have an evil scientist doing things to people at a ranch, and you have to go explore the ranch to find out what happened. This is legit what this sounds like. I'm playing Resident Evil right now, and this is exactly what it sounds like. Epstein used Zorro Ranch as an isolated getaway and playground for VIP guests who were able to come and go more discreetly than they could even to Little St. James, his private Caribbean island. Civil filing claims that the compound hosted the former Prince Andrew. Surprise, surprise. There have been unverified claims that Bill Clinton was also there and several other prominent figures. I would love to know who those prominent figures are. New photos of the remote New Mexico ranch show the formal garden has been dug up since it was bought by Texas real estate baron Don Huffines. Well, whatever he's digged up, you know, in this mass picture, which you can see clearly hasn't found any bodies. So I don't think that they are going to be so easily trackable or traceable by any means necessary. Maria alleged, in regards to Maria Farmer, who said that she was taken to Zorro Ranch, she said that she was essayed by Epstein and his partner Ghislaine. In 2021, he was found guilty herself. She said that she was 15 when flown to the property and directed by Epstein and Maxwell to take off and do things. Several lawsuits by anonymous Jane Doe plaintiffs also alleged SA at Zorro Ranch, and Renee Burns told Daily Mail that she could count on one hand the number of times she saw him during her stint as a maid there at Zorro Ranch. And people also are claiming that any medical related stuff that went on, they didn't actually see. Of course, because that medical stuff that was going on was probably in the basement or in the basement below the basement, where they basically wouldn't have you see Epstein do this disgusting stuff. This is why I say too little too late, because what do you mean? It's even more secluded than the Little St. James. So multiple celebrities were running in there. Why is it secluded? Because police forces know what a property is and what's going on, and they know the high profile people going there, but they will also turn a blind eye. Very similar to how in the UK, Prince Andrew was never investigated by the police until now. Right. Until it's convenient, until it's acceptable, until it can be digested. Only then these people are allowed to be investigated. Not before, not while it's happening, because, you know, that's not allowed. The police forces meant to protect us are actually doing the very opposite. They're being paid on the back end from these people. So what's gone on at Zorro Ranch sounds like a horror movie. They're currently on the search right now. The police have swarmed for the earlier couple of days to find these bodies. They're not going to find these bodies because they've probably been buried there since 2018, 2019. They've been buried there for nearly 10 years now. You're not going to find them. I'm just trying to be realistic about this conversation, especially when you have other people digging up. They didn't see anything. And you have multiple anonymous people coming out saying that they've been essayed at the ranch. He was running and bringing girls and probably boys back in and out, like some kind of system, funneling left and right. And then for selective breeding, I'm not understanding what kind of ideation this man was trying to obtain in regards to breeding. Like, what was the byproduct? What was the end? Can somebody please figure that out for me? What was the end for you when it comes to selective breeding? What were you trying to create? Some kind of...
This guy was the devil. Jeffrey Epstein was the devil himself. When he was interrogated and they said, or do you think you're the devil? The answer was, he was the devil. Shout out Murad Morale. Make sure you go over there and show him some love. That was another banger. It's your boy Jet Ski G. Make sure you hit that like, hype, comment, and subscribe button over here. We need y'all support more than ever. Let's get right into this. I am with Murad. It is too little too late. But it is, you do have the opportunity to make it somewhat right by finding the people that are buried there. I'm sure if they are buried there, they're probably all buried in the same vicinity. And I believe also if the two people are buried there, it's going to be more than just two. Now, the one person who was digging stuff up and they had been digging stuff up, now there's a whole community digging people up. So now all of a lot of people from New Mexico and the states around it, people are coming to the ranch along with local law enforcement, along with local contractors, digging up that land, looking for people in the ground, which sounds insane to say. Feels like I'm talking about the people under the stairs or something like that. But this is how insane Jeffrey Epstein was, which is more than scary. But this is where we're at. So shout out New Mexico for doing the right thing and putting people in position to do the right thing, because you got to be very courageous to do the right thing. Like I said yesterday on our breakdown, our deep dive, When a judge got put on Epstein's case in 2019, 4 days later, a person showed up to her husband's house or her house in a FedEx uniform, shot and killed her son dead, and then shot her husband critically. And that's like everybody attached to Epstein has miraculously died. So just getting this far to actually get in there and actually try to hold people accountable, it can be very difficult. It takes a lot of courage. So shout out New Mexico, one of the states that are actually, taking the initiative to do these things. All right. So as we always say on this channel, protect the children. We don't care if they're black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't care if they're Amish, Jewish, Russian, Chinese. We don't care. Protect the children. All right. It's your boy Jet Ski G. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, you know I love y'all. I'm going to drop another video. It's going to be right here. Click this video right here. I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out, y'all.